What if I told you that you can pretty much win your asylum case before you ever set foot in the asylum office for your interview? It's true, and I say this as a former government asylum officer. You can influence ahead of time the person who will decide your case, whether that's an asylum officer with USCIS or an immigration judge if you're in deportation proceedings. You can show them exactly why they should give you asylum, setting the stage for an outstanding asylum interview or hearing. And in this video, I'll show you how to do it with what I call an asylum roadmap. We'll explain what an asylum roadmap is, why it's important, and how to prepare one that will set you up for success in your asylum case. I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now as an asylum lawyer, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. So first, let's define what an asylum roadmap is. An asylum roadmap is a packet that you should submit to the asylum office in addition to your asylum application. It's documentation that's going to lay out your case, showing the officer everything they need to see in order to understand that you do qualify for asylum. The asylum roadmap is your chance to make the officer love you and your case because you've done much of their work for them. You've provided them everything they need to be able to efficiently and fairly analyze your case. You see, asylum officers review an applicant's case file ahead of the interview, and if you submit a well-prepared asylum roadmap, then you can help the asylum officer understand your case and your eligibility for asylum before your interview even begins. This can help the interview go smoothly as the officer will already be familiar with the key aspects of your case. So, what are the elements of an asylum roadmap? What goes in this packet? Well, there are three things: a written statement, country of origin information, and evidence. The written statement, which is sometimes referred to as a personal statement or a history, is a document that explains your asylum claim in detail, including the basis for your fear of persecution and why you're eligible for asylum. Your declaration should explain what has happened to you in your country and why you fear being harmed in the future. You need to discuss any past incidents of harm or any threats, focusing on details that show just how bad the harm was, why it is clear that you'll still be at risk if you have to return, and what it is that's motivating the bad guys to want to harm you. You see, these are the three things the officer cares most about: past persecution, the likelihood of future persecution, and the reason for the persecution. Remember, the persecution must be motivated, at least in significant part, by the fact that you possess one of the 5 protected characteristics under US asylum law. And those are your race, religion, nationality, political opinion, and something called membership in a particular social group. Now, you've got to keep your declaration short. I recommend not more than 4 pages, single-spaced. You do not need to provide a lot of background information or context in this document. Just focus on you. I have a very detailed training on YouTube called Craft the Perfect Personal Statement for Your Asylum Application, which you should check out if you want help with your declaration. Now, if you do this, the declaration, well, it can be a very powerful part of your case. Do this right, and it can really help increase your chances for success. Okay, on to the second element of the asylum roadmap, and this is country of origin information, known as COI. COI includes reports and articles that describe the conditions in your home country and support your asylum claim. For example, if you're a member of a political party whose members are widely targeted for harm by the party that's in power in the government, well, then you could include some reports showing that this is taking place. When selecting COI to include in your asylum roadmap, it's best to focus on mainstream resources that the asylum officer is familiar with and that won't raise questions about their reliability. When you print these sources out, or if you've applied online, compile them in PDF format, you should highlight the most relevant portions of each report, the parts that you really want the officer to pay attention to. I discussed this topic, what kind of COI to use and how to package it, in detail in a YouTube training video called Win Your Asylum Case Before Your Interview. I'll put the link in the description to the video that you're watching right now. By the way, if you want to maximize your chances for asylum success, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and bell notification so that you don't miss the insights that I share on this channel. All right, the third and final element of an asylum roadmap is evidence. This can include any documents or other materials that directly support your asylum claim, such as medical records, police reports, witness statements, and photographs. For example, if you were attacked and you ended up going to the hospital for treatment, well, you should include proof of that hospital visit as evidence. This could include records of lab work done, doctor's notes or instructions to you upon being discharged, or even a receipt for payment to the hospital. If you have pictures showing your injuries, those can be powerful, so do include them as evidence. Screenshots of threats against you, whether by text message or on social media, like in a WhatsApp message, can also really help your case. Let me just note that while evidence can definitely be helpful, it's not essential to win your asylum case. In fact, you can win asylum without any evidence at all. You can win based just on the testimony that you'll give on the day of your interview. So yes, do your best to get evidence, but don't stress out if it's just not available or if getting it could mean putting someone in harm's way. All right, we've discussed the 3 elements of the asylum roadmap: your declaration, country of origin information, and evidence. Now, what do you do with these things? How do you package them up? I recommend first combining these items into a single PDF. I also strongly recommend using some kind of software to create an index and hyperlinks to the different items, labeling them all clearly. You should also number the pages of this PDF sequentially, such that the index shows you on which page in the broader packet that a given item begins. This makes it much easier for the officer to manage the information. Now, I provide detailed guidance on how to package your asylum roadmap in the video that I mentioned a minute ago called Win Your Asylum Case Before Your Interview. The link is in the description to the video that you're watching now. If you have the chance to create this roadmap before applying for asylum, then include this information with your application. But it's not a problem if you're seeing this video after having applied for asylum. It's perfectly fine to submit this filing at any time before your interview. Preparing an effective asylum roadmap can be a powerful way to influence the officer before your interview. By providing the asylum officer with a clear and concise written statement, country of origin information, and evidence, you can help to ensure that the officer is well prepared for your interview and has a favorable opinion of your case before you even set foot in their office. If you're ready to take the next step and get individualized help with your asylum case, then please call my office today. The number is 713-352-1593. And remember, we help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you are. Call us now to schedule an asylum strategy session so that we can help you secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to serve you in your asylum journey.